What's up, film lovers? I want to welcome you to the first episode of this new segment I'm doing called Film Thoughts. Basically, within this series, I want to talk about film stuff, and that may be on my own movies, my thoughts on certain topics within the film industry, or what I think could improve films. Pretty much anything and all things filmmaking.
So today I want to talk about what happened to original film stories. And what got me thinking about this was I recently went to go see Zootopia. It's a great film, by the way, you should check it out. Anyway, I left the theater thinking, wow, that was a great standalone single movie. It didn't have anything to do with a pre-existing franchise. It wasn't based off a shitty teen book. It was just a great self-contained story.
To me, going to the movies is an experience. It's an escape from our daily lives into other, more exciting worlds. And to me, a truly great experience is one that I had watching a film like Zootopia. One that has a truly original film story. Think about all the big blockbuster movies coming out in 2016. How many of them have truly original film stories that aren't based off comic books or novels or games? Zootopia seems to be the only one I've seen this year. Anyway, after I thought about this, it's brought up this feeling that I've had for a while now. When the first Star Wars movie came back out in '77, that was an original story. There was no pre-existing Star Wars novel, film, comic, or video game. When the first Indiana Jones came out, so was that. Sure, they drew inspiration from the serials of the 30s and even from World War II, but they were original stories with original characters that we grew to love. Now, it just seems like there's nothing like these classics coming out of mainstream Hollywood.
Here we are in 2016 and studios are continuing to make money off comic book movies, overly milked franchise and soft reboots of films that came out decades ago. Why? Because the studio sees what works and will keep making the same thing over and over just to push tickets.
For example, they will keep making comic book films until they become financial failures, or people get tired of them. The unnecessary sequel, The Huntsman and Zootopia, has bombed dramatically at the box office, which means that franchise is over. They're not going to make another one.
Look, I like comic book movies. I loved Mad Max Fury Road and Star Wars The Force Awakens, but it's kind of sad to think that people who want to make their own original stories with new worlds and new characters to care about will mostly be overlooked by stuff like the comic book film trend.
Not only can they be overlooked, but the studio can then alter and change them to be part of an existing franchise. Remember the end of 10 Cloverfield Lane? There was a reason the whole scene felt out of place. I did some research of the movie, and initially it wasn't going to have anything relating to Cloverfield at all. It was instead called The Cellar, and was going to follow the same 10 story as the final product, but with a different ending and no monsters whatsoever. They even filmed the entire movie. However, the studio dropped the project only then to pick it back up again, stick the Cloverfield brand on it, and rewrite and reshoot parts of the film to fit it into that universe. Sure, at the end of the day, the film finally got made, but what gets me about this is that the studio basically took this self-contained original story and stuck the Cloverfield brand on it just to make sure it sold tickets, when the end result would have been fine without it.
Here we are in 2016 and we are surrounded, absolutely surrounded by all these prequels, sequels and reboots. And I feel that we deserve something better. And that's why I'm sad about all of this, you know? Because that's what I want to do as a filmmaker. I want to explore new worlds, give people new characters to care about.
Look, I understand that Hollywood and the movie business is just that, a business. And everybody's got to make money. I understand that.
But wouldn't it be cool after coming out of a cinema, after watching a really good standalone original movie that's made solely for the film, and having fallen in love with the characters and the world they live in, and think, wow, that was amazing. Just like I did after I came out of Zootopia.